Well, I spent my day today in Dubbo and in Wellington. And around Dubbo, there was certainly some discussion around business. It just seems to be a little bit patchy there. Some businesses seem to think that they're pretty quiet at the moment, and that's a concern. But again, you talk to them one day and they're pretty busy, and the next day they're a bit quiet. So it does seem to be a little bit patchy, and I think this is still the results of the drought that we've had for so long coming through, where the continuous flow of money just isn't occurring to some of those businesses. And we have seen a few businesses close in Dubbo, which is obviously a major concern. Unemployment is still very low, 2.3%. So there's still a lot of employers out there looking for employees, but again, they're a little bit patchy in terms of what they're doing in their overall throughput. So that is a bit of a concern. I then came down to Wellington and had a few people to meet up with down here. And again, the number one issue down here is crime. And I used the quote at a forum I was talking at tonight. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." And one of the real issues for people here in Wellington is they've been crying out for a 24-hour police station for a long time. And they've been told by this government that they don't need it, so they won't get it. And whenever they're being told they don't need it, they certainly won't get it. I'm prepared to go in there and argue as hard as I possibly can for a 24-hour police station for Wellington and for Narromine. And I think we can be successful as a community in getting 24-hour police stations in both Wellington and Narromine. But we've got to believe we can, and that's certainly one thing that I think I can do, is argue very strongly for it and make a difference. And I was heartened when I met with Greg Piper, the longest serving independent in New South Wales government. And he said when he first became the independent member for Lake Macquarie back in 2007, at that time it was a Labor government with a Labor member. And one of the things they really wanted at that community was more police. And he went in as an independent and said, "I'm going to argue for you." The government didn't change. It was a Labor government before 2007 and after. The member changed. It was a Labor member, it then became an independent member. And that independent member went in and argued as hard as he could, and he got the extra police that the Labor member wasn't able to get. So I think with that sort of record and that sort of example, I think we can be successful here as a community in Wellington. And I just finished off now, after I met with some people in Wellington today, the Wellington Chamber of Commerce had a forum there that I was able to go and speak at. And so thank you to those members that came along, and obviously the Wellington Chamber for putting that on. And again, it was a great opportunity to talk to people about whatever was important to them. I gave a small intro and my background, small intro on some of the things that I believed were needed around this electorate and certainly around Wellington in particular. But then I was open to questions, and we spent probably 2 hours just sitting there with questions, answering questions, discussing the things that were brought up from those questions. Certainly crime came up. That's almost the number one thing that comes up every time I talk anywhere around the Wellington area. Certainly water security came up as an issue, and certainly just business, the revitalisation of that business, the CBD, how it can be effective in doing that. Some council issues came up, solar farms, wind farms came up, a whole range of topics came up. It was a really good discussion, I thought. So thank you to all those people involved. Tomorrow I've got the Digitech launch tomorrow morning. I'm involved in a Dubbo Chamber of Commerce subcommittee called Digitech. We had the first ever Digitech event last year, and this year will be the second Digitech. So I'm on that committee, and we're doing the official launch tomorrow. And then I'm off to Narromine. I've got some people to meet up with in Narromine. And then we've got the Cancer Council Forum for all the candidates tomorrow afternoon in Dubbo. This has been Mathew Dickerson, your independent voice.